Hey guys, this is James.
And this is Denny from TeaDB, episode 64.
Yep, and so what do we have this episode?
So this is going to be another one of what I would consider a daily drinker for myself that I got from Yunnan sourcing. And this is going to be a ripe pu'erh. So this is the Xiaguan 2007 Tuo. And it's actually rebranded, I think, by the Yunnan sourcing group. Maybe not.
No.
I guess
I don't
not.
think so.
It doesn't look like it. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. All kind of budget ripes that I've been drinking for a while. I think I've gone through. This is my fourth one of these. So
Wow, that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
So you must really like this one.
Yeah, I really do enjoy this one. I'm gonna heat up the yeasting a little bit here. Nothing crazy. So this one is, I actually first found this, I had a 2005 version of this, and the difference is pretty minute. I can't notice it at this point.
And where did you acquire this tea?
So this is also from Yunnan sourcing.
Okay.
And this is just a really kind of, again, sort of that in the middle of a nice ripe pu'erh. And definitely in terms of the cost, a nice little budget tea.
Yeah. So Xiaguan, of course, is known for their pu'erh tea. They're the second biggest factory, and they're known for kind of like their rock solid compression. So Denny was commenting on just the compression of this. You really got to break it up and try not to stab yourself or puncture yourself with the little pu'erh pick. As that has, I've definitely punctured myself before breaking up Xiaguan. So they're known for that, and they really, and like this tool in particular is called the Xiao tool, and it's that means that it's essentially exported to France. So it was originally for French export. Now, of course, it's consumed wherever. I don't know if that's still the case or not, but yeah.
Yeah, this is really nice, easy to drink, good intro, ripe. And in terms of brewing parameters here, we have kind of a 140, 145-ish milliliter Yixing clay teapot and about 8 grams of leaf. I think that it depends on what you want to do, but you can go crazy with it. You can go pretty light. I don't think you should go too light with ripe, so I would err on the side of going a little heavy.
And so what does heavy and light entail in this sort of context?
Yeah, I'm talking about the ratio of tea leaf to the storage size, the water. So roughly per 100 mils, you would say, give or take, you want to have about 6 grams of leaf.
Okay. And of course, you can switch that according to kind of like what you're looking for. More leaf would add to a much thicker body, a stronger mouthfeel, even though you might get the same basic flavor profile if you use a little bit less leaf.
Right. So let's give this a smell.
Smells like ripe pu'erh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can, and I'm actually going to toss this one too. So I'm going to do 2 rinses, and the evolution of color there is getting nice and red. We have our red tea here after all. This will be our first actual steeping.
Cool.
We'll go ahead and just toss this in immediately. So, I'm excited. This is one of my, again, kind of daily drinkers. I love this guy, or girl, whatever. I like it in the mornings. It's a nice kind of, I don't like anything too sweet in the morning.
Right.
So, and this is definitely not too sweet. Not that it's bitter like coffee at all. It's different. It's more earthy, more woody. And just, more ripe pu'erh.
And of course, the ripe pu'erhs will just be much, much more friendly on one's stomach in the morning, as opposed to like drinking a young raw pu'erh, which can be a kick in the face, or a kick in the stomach, or a kick in a lot of different places. So.
All right. Well, let's enjoy this one.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. So this has, for me, a nice earthy front to it, and kind of subtle sweetness.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I think will evolve.
It's kind of like an earthy sweetness. I would expect that this will be one of the lighter steeps we'll taste as it just gets, this Yixing is probably baking right now.
Yeah.
And it's got a really nice basic ripe pu'erh profile. I personally drink a lot more ripe pu'erhs from Munghai Tea Factory, so switching over to this is a really nice change of pace sometimes.
Cool. Yeah, this is light. I'm going to go ahead and just toss this out. Normally I would drink the rest of this, but for the taste comparison here. Light, earthy, woody. It's not earthy in a vegetal sense, earthy in more of a hay, wood, little bit of charcoal sense.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good comparison.
I'm loving this pour on this guy, nice and slow. And yeah, you can see now that the color is getting that really rich red. And we're again just using really flash brews because, one, the pour, as you could see just there, was probably a 10-second pour.
Yeah.
And beyond that, excuse me.
Yep.
It's the Yixing is so hot that it's going to brew the tea extremely quickly.
Yep.
So, and we're also using ripe pu'erh, and we're also using a fair amount of leaf.
Yeah. So you really don't have to really don't have to wait for a minute or two to let this guy steep.
No, not at all.
And like Denny was saying, just to talk a little bit about Yixing, a good pairing generally for ripe pu'erh and stuff like that is something that does pour fairly slow. So some of those vessels tend to be really good just because ripe pu'erh, it's good to just like bake that guy in a ton of heat.
Absolutely.
Like I do not recommend steeping ripe pu'erh at green tea temperatures. That would be weird and probably nasty.
Kind of just pointless.
Yeah.
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 Cheers.
So it's deeper.
Yeah.
The sweetness is more pronounced.
More body.
Yeah. It's still kind of got that earthy base to it.
Some discus.
Yeah, and the Yixing and the fact that we are using more leaf will help to bring out that viscosity that Denny's talking about.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's something that we're picking up on. I would expect that this tea will still probably continue to pick up steam, especially because it's the rock hard Xiaguan compression. So it'll just take a while to break that stuff apart.
Definitely, yeah. And as we talked about before, plenty of times, things that you can do to accelerate the potency of your tea drinking, which I don't know if I would recommend, but if you wanted to, you could process the tea more. And by process, I just mean break up. So
yep.
I kind of had, what I always do is sort of 3 big chunks and a little bit of smaller pieces.
Yep.
Usually because they're just kind of naturally going to fall off a little bit in general. But if you wanted to, you could really kind of just go one by one and try to tease out every single little piece. It'd feel like a loose leaf tea.
Yep.
So
depends
on your preferences.
And it's obviously much more difficult to do something like that for a tea like this, where it's really, really compressed. Something like the White Two Teas productions or Yunnan Sourcing's own pu'erh productions, where it's a much looser compression. It's much easier to kind of like break it apart leaf by leaf without seriously damaging or breaking the leaves, which will result in more bitter brews, essentially.
And this is going to be able to go pretty strongly for, I'd say, like a good 7 steepings.
Okay.
So, really, in terms of just like if you wanted to have one tea for the whole day, you could come back to this multiple times. Something you should keep in mind is if you do come back to it and wait an hour, the Yixing will cool significantly, and it will influence the brew. So keep that in mind. Experiment.
Yeah. Have you had much success introducing this tea to newcomers?
These flavor profiles seem to be a little bit less accessible. So this is a pretty accessible ripe pu'erh, but ripe pu'erh isn't as accessible as black tea, white tea, or green tea.
Right, that makes sense. Like I think introducing someone to serious tea, the black tea we had, the Islao Mountain, from last episode, would be a much more friendly experience.
Yeah, definitely. But if you're looking for something new to try, you never had ripe, this is a great budget tea you can pick up. It's old, it's got some age on it, so you're gonna experience the sort of breadth of the ripeness. But you don't need to have 30-year-old ripe pu'erh to really enjoy ripe.
You don't even need 10-year-old ripe pu'erh, really. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cool. Well, James, if someone want to learn more about pu'erh teas and Yunnan, what should they do?
They should come visit us at TeaDB.org. We've been releasing a lot of great information on pu'erh and tea in general. And also go check out Yunnan Sourcing and check out the last couple teas that we've recommended. I mean, it's difficult to navigate through a site as huge as Yunnan Sourcing. It might be kind of like Candyland for you, as it is for some of us, or it might just be a challenge because we can't buy every tea there. So these episodes are really geared at recommending a couple things, especially from Denny, that might be good to go and pick up over at YunnanSourcing.com.
Yeah, give it a try. Let us know what you guys like. Check us out in the comments. Check us out by subscribing so you can get more episodes. And we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, see you guys next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.